Right, let's try this one again. I filmed this thought yesterday. However, the audio messed up. I have no idea why, which is annoying in itself when you don't know why something went wrong. But we'll give it another go. And basically, I was thinking about discipline and thinking about it's kind of a bit of the stuff I see. It's a bit of a craze at the moment. Not even at the moment. It has been for a while. About discipline. About, you need to be disciplined. You hear Joe Rogan and almost Jordan Peterson and David Goggins and Jocko Willink sort of talk about discipline. And I do agree, you do need discipline, but it got me thinking, what about the other side? Think about the other side and how discipline might be a negative, or maybe you don't want discipline so much in your life. Because personally for me, when I think about discipline, I think about how I already have things in my life that I'm disciplined at. I don't see it as a discipline anymore. Like all of us, we all brush our teeth twice a day. We all probably shower every day. And these aren't, you wouldn't class these as disciplines, really. But you do them. I've come to work every day. I go to the gym every day. Or almost every day, should I say. These are disciplines. And I'm very set in a routine. And when I'm set in a routine, it is automatic. It is robotic. And it doesn't feel like a discipline. And now my only question is it still a discipline if there is no emotion in it? Because in my head, you've got to be disciplined because it's the things that you don't want to do. So you're a bit emotional about them. And, you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. And that sort of stuff, is that only discipline when emotion is involved? And what I would do is, if I ever got discipline in anything, for me, it then becomes the norm, and it doesn't feel like a discipline. You ask me if I'm disciplined, and I'm not going to be like, absolutely. I'm going to be like, well, brush my teeth every day, twice a day. So, I am curious about that. And the other side of it is, do you even want to be too disciplined? Because if you're too disciplined, you are a robot. Robots are extremely disciplined. They have an action and they perform the action. That's complete discipline. And us as humans, we have emotions and we have freedom. And to be 100% disciplined, in my mind, what I think about is you end up being a bit of a robot. You also end up not living the life that you want to live. So I do think about the other side and say, maybe you do want a bit of freedom. Also, maybe you do want times where you are a bit emotional, where you do sack something off. One, because you probably will see the benefits of whatever you're doing that you missed out that day. Or, you just realise you just realise the consequences of not doing certain things, like going to the gym, eating healthily. I mean, a prime example is my diet. I'm pretty disciplined with it, but I don't see it as a discipline because I literally just do it every day. It's sort of out of choice. It's not like, I've got to get up and I've got to stick to this diet. It is just like, well, no, today we eat this. That's just what we do. And I don't class it as discipline. And it still feels like freedom. And it's a nice sweet spot. Whereas I'm thinking about the balance of discipline. I have no doubt that discipline is fantastic in people's lives. And it is important to have in your life. You know, you can't be sat there being lazy and doing things that you don't want to do. Not doing things that you don't want to do. I completely understand that. You have to do things that you don't like to do. And that's where discipline is great. But that's where discipline keeps you structured. If you don't have discipline, you then listen to your emotions too much. And you say, well, I can't bother today. I'm not going to do that. And then today turns to tomorrow. And tomorrow turns to the week. And then the month. And then you fall off. And then you become a bit unhappy and stuff like that. And then it's a snowball effect. And so I understand some people need more discipline in their life than not. But for me, I'm trying to figure out how much discipline you're meant to have. Because, like I said, I don't want to become a robot. I still want a little bit of freedom in life. And I still want a little bit of space to do wrong. A little bit of space to slack off. Because sometimes you need that space to slack off to realise how good you are, how good you're performing, or, you know, sometimes you might even need a rest. And then you jump back into it and you're at it again. But it's always an interesting one to me, because it is a battle I'm fighting with in my head. I'm like, no, you need to be more disciplined in this. You need to do this. Like filming these filming these videos, for example. I'm in a process of making sure I have enough creative thoughts flowing. And I've also got to be disciplined in watching these videos, in almost checking up on them, checking that they're okay. I've got a little editing process that I have to go through. And that's a discipline, because it's not something I want to do. If I didn't have to do it and I could just bang them out there without just film and just without even consciously looking at anything that I film, I'd do that all day. But, you know, you've got to be disciplined in almost being responsible for what you're doing. But yeah, filming these videos, I've got to, my process at the moment is when I get thoughts, I note them down in my phone, and every night I sit there for about 5 or 10 minutes and I write something down. It can be anything. If I don't have any thoughts sparked, I check in my notes, or I read past pages, or I watch something and then come back to it. And then if I have nothing, it's okay. I don't have to write anything down. But that's starting to become a bit of a discipline. I could see it as that. But if I thought of it too much as a discipline, too much as a robotic, like right now I sit down and I think, it kind of puts pressure on it. It puts pressure on me to forcefully think of things, and then talk about something that I'm waffling about, something that doesn't actually interest me, something that's not organic. Yet still the process of me turning up with that book in my hand to start writing is a discipline. So I'm not saying let's not be disciplined in life. I'm just saying maybe realise sometimes you don't always need discipline, unless you've got zero discipline in your life. You know, I think you need discipline with physical activity for sure. You always have to be doing some form of physical activity. It could be anything. It could be walking to the shop. It could be walking around your house. It could be going to the gym. It could be playing a sport with your mates. It could be like me doing yoga or playing football, playing badminton, tennis, whatever, anything. Going for a hike. This weekend we're going to go for a hike. I mean, they don't all sound like disciplines because you can make it varied. But if every day, or almost every day, 4 times a week, you're doing exercise, that's a discipline. And for me, I just don't even realise that it is a discipline anymore. And for me, things are only a discipline as well. This is another thing I battle with. Things are only a discipline, for me, when you've got to do something that you don't want to do. So now the conversation I have in my head is, well, why am I doing it anyway if I don't want to do it? Surely the thing that you're doing shouldn't be done. Surely you should be picking something else, because why are you spending your time doing stuff that you don't want to do? I think for me, when I'm so happy in life and I'm thinking life is so great, I just want more time. Give me more time. Give me more time. Give me more free time to do everything that I love. And therefore, why would I want to be disciplined in stuff that I don't want to do? So I think you have to be careful in what you choose. And it's always the perspective of the word discipline, I think, that I've got to pay attention to. Because I wonder if it can still be a discipline if you enjoy it. Because if so, I'm disciplined. If not, I'm not. Because if I'm honest, I try and figure out a way to enjoy whatever I'm doing. I know I've got to go to the gym. So I'm just going to do the exercises that I want to do. And I get a variety in. And I want to be more flexible. I want to work my body. So I'll go pick yoga. Now, don't get me wrong, I hated it at the start. And I guess that's where discipline comes in. You've got to have discipline until you love it. But then if you're never going to love it, you pick something else. If yoga weren't going to work, I'd go try gymnastics, or I'd try just stretching on my own, or, you know what I mean? I'd have to research things and find things out. But same with the gym. If you get bored of lifting weights, go pick something else. If you want to just exercise and you get bored of walking, walk outside, walk on a treadmill, cycle outside, cycle in the gym, do the Stairmasters. If that's too much, you know what I mean? Go swimming, go running. There's so many different things, I think, in life that are great. You just got to figure out what it is that you're going to love, which I guess it takes discipline to do that. Because you're not going to love something at the start because you're going to be bad at it. That's how it works for me. There's so many things I love in life that I was awful at when I first started. Pool. I was awful at pool when I first started, as anyone is. Now I love it. Card games, poker, awful at it. Now I love it because you stick it out. Or yoga. Like I said, yoga, I was awful at it. I hated yoga the first 2 months, 2 or 3 months maybe. Only because it hurt my ego when I couldn't get into these poses and I'm like, my body's letting me down. And you got this hate on yourself. Even lifting in the gym, I still find it boring. But I just put something on in my ears. I put an Audible book on, and it makes it easier. I like the book. I want to learn stuff and stuff. You pair things up. And I guess the discipline is just sticking it out. But I think there becomes a time when you've got to look at your life and say, why am I actually doing this? What's the full benefit of everything that it's giving me? And is it worth the time, or can I switch it up and do something else? And if you're not even at that stage and you're completely lazy and your life's gone to shit and you're feeling awful about yourself, I get discipline is key for you. And for me, the interpretation of discipline in that scenario is you've got to just go out and try shit. You've got to just go out and do something. You just don't sit by yourself the full time and do nothing and say, this person doesn't like me, no one likes me, I'm not loved, I'm fat, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's like, right, yeah, okay, you're all that. So what? Keep going, go out, do this, do that. But yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking about the other day. Peace.